Wait till I get my money right. Whoa. Okay. Okay. And we're live. Oh.
You said we gotta take.
I know. I know.
So I'm
I
just
know.
wondering.
I did say that. And then I did something different.
All right.
Okay.
Good thing it wasn't chicken.
Good thing it wasn't chicken. All right. Good morning, kids. Good morning. Can I just tell you something really funny? Especially for those of you who listen in regularly, like daily, because we're here daily except for the weekends. I was today years old when I realized that I have a morning show. It just like snuck up on me. Like, bitch, you have a morning show. You do something every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. You have a fucking morning show, bitch. Sorry, this is early in the morning, my self-talk. And I was like, oh my God, I do. So stupid. For real. Today years old, it was just like, I swear like God had to sneak this up on me because there's just no way I probably would have just signed up for this. Like this. You know, it's different when you're on Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse doing a regular standing room tea and tarot. Shout out to my Clubhouse kids. I used to do a tea and tarot session over there almost daily. It wasn't daily. It's just whenever I felt like it, honestly. But this is different. Out here in the YouTube, sorry, I'm putting on my shea butters. Okay, shout out to my shea butter users. I have some white shea butter today. But yeah, this was never like what I was trying to plan to do, but here we are. Here we are, putting shea butter on at 7 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time on YouTube. But yeah, this is a daily morning ritual, I guess. I have a habit of showing up here every day, and I like that for us. So if you're in the space, say hello in the chat. I love talking to new people or my returning people, my lovelies, my everydayers, okay? Anybody who chime into this thing every day, oh my God, you're an everydayer. Not just because you chime in to support, but because clearly you have set in your life a ritual of doing something conscious, intentional, and positive to start your day. And I love that for us. Not just you, me too. So without further ado, I should probably introduce myself. I do this so late in the game. My name is Alami Bashir. I am an intuitive self-mastery coach, which means that I am an executive coach that is intuitive, and I teach others people how to be intuitive as well. I teach you how to reconnect with your intuition, in fact, because we all have access points to it. Whether or not we recognize it or not, we all have an intuition, a higher knowing that tells us stuff we don't know how we know it, but we be knowing, okay? And so I use that gift, that magic that all of us have. I use that to help you all get more clarity through these live intuitive messages. I also use it in my coaching practice to help you all move past obstacles and barriers and doubts and fears and all kind of mental junk that keeps you from moving fast in the direction of who you want to be. So that's the fun I get to have in life, as I get to help others improve their lives. So if you need some assistance with that or want to learn more about how I do that, feel free to go to begreateveryday.com. begreateveryday.com. Hi, Maria. Hello, Crystal. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Esteban. Good morning. So, let's get into it, shall we? Man. So I am in Costa Rica. Costa Rica. And I relocated here last year. I guess we're coming up on 8 months or so. And man, talk about living at the level of my dreams. I just can't even put into words. Like, was standing here yesterday with Vic looking out the window, like, do you believe that we live here? Like, we get to look at this and be in this environment and be nurtured by this nature and to be feeling this free and to be so connected with ourselves and our work and just feeling so integrated in so many ways. Like, this is what dreams are made of. Okay. Then there's a contrasting story to this, that as entrepreneurs, we're entrepreneurs. Okay, we're not just visionaries out here living our lives. We're entrepreneurs that are self-sustaining ourselves through our business. And that can be very hard. And as someone who has not taken out any business loans or accepted any angel investments or even had the opportunity to anyway, we've been self-funded. The encouragement company has been self-funded since 2016. Okay, aside from a friend or a family member who believes who wants to donate something, but that's it. Okay. And so while I sit here with you explaining to you that I'm very clearly happy AF, okay, happy AF. That doesn't come without its challenges, okay? And I know this is all temporal. I've been in business long enough to ride the waves, the highs and lows of my local economy, per se, within my business. I know that this low that we're in right now will easily transition into a high, like very instantly, with just a small few tweaks. But in entrepreneurship, as many of you might know, even if you're not an entrepreneur, it requires a whole lot of skills and a whole lot of abilities and a whole lot of awarenesses and a whole lot of relationships and a whole lot of things that may not come natural. And hence that ebb and flow. Sometimes that ebb and flow is about the economy, and sometimes that ebb and flow is about moving past your own challenges or moving past your own fears and any other barriers that keep you from going toward what you want. So, why do I share all these things? Okay. Hello, Neymar. Why do I share all these things? Because one, in the spirit of transparency, I like to tell people what is really happening in my journey. I really like to tell people and show people what it looks like to walk by faith in real time. What it looks like to set aside the fears and doubts of the ego and still stay steadfast in what you know to be true. Okay. I like to show this in real time, and I honestly do know that my life is meant for this. I'm meant to be on display to show people what it looks like to move through a hard season with joy, especially a financially hard season. So many of us associate our sheer happiness with the amount of money in our bank accounts. I am too one of those people who have done that and continue to do that. I look at my bank account now and I'm like, ooh, girl, you need to do something and do something quick, okay? Ooh, girl. At the same time, that part of me that feels like I need to do something and do something quick, I don't just give that part of myself permission to jump into survival mode to, quote, make things happen. In real life and in real time, I'm laying in wait for a financial blessing that is going to elevate me in my situation and all the things that I have going on, to include 2 spring breaking kids in college who are traveling or one of them is traveling, coming here to include all the things that it takes to not just run my business, but the people who help me support it. As many things as it feels like are not happening, there are a lot of things that are happening that I'm having to fund. So there's just a lot of pressure that I'm feeling financially to, quote, make things happen. But even in that pressure, I'm not resorting to desperate measures because it's not a desperate time. And I feel like that is what I'm supposed to talk about today. Okay. Is this desperate measures in undesperate times? Okay. And I don't know if you resonate with that, but I know when, historically, especially, when I'm in a situation, especially financially, and things start to get slim, or I just start to like see too many gaping holes in how things are gonna needs are gonna get met. I mean, I might go into survival mode that looks like any number of things. Whether it's looking at how I can pick up extra money through, one of my revenue streams. I used to drive, do shipped grocery delivery. I had a great time doing it. That was one of my favorite jobs, honestly. And I took that job just to start learning the area of where I moved to, also to make a little bit extra money, but it was really to learn the new area I had moved to. And so, I might jump into, let me pick up some shipped shifts, right? I can't do that here, nor would I do it, but that's something I might do. Look for additional income streams. I might borrow money from somebody, and God bless the friend or friends that have been supportive to me in that time to fill in the gap at that time. That's great. Okay. I might pick up some kind of work that I don't prefer doing. Okay, just for the sake of making the money. It's like I just need to make the money to meet the requirements, to pay the bills, or to take care of the things, or the whatever things. It's like I just need to make the money. Okay. And that's a conditioning that many of us have fallen into. We just need to make the money, so we do things we don't love or don't want to do to make the money. Okay. And listen, I'm not mad at anybody. People do what they got to do. And especially if you've got children and got people depending on you, people looking at you for provision, and you don't have it. Again, a natural reaction is to kick it into desperate times using these desperate measures. Okay. But today it feels like we're talking about undesperate times. Like, there's never a time to be desperate. Okay. There's never a time to be desperate. I am very well aware that some of you will very actively disagree with me. Okay. And some of you may agree. Okay. That came too. I'm very well aware that some of you look at the X's and O's of your life and your, quote, reality as the only reality that exists. Like, this is what it is, and this is what it is, and this is all I see and what I know, so this is what it is. It's like, the money's due, this is what it is. There's no other reality around it. It's just the money's due, and I don't have it, or I need to get it, or the money's due. So it's like that's the only reality that some of us can stay fixated and focused in, and we forget that there are literal other realities happening at the same time. Okay. And what are those realities? It's like, this is not fiction. This is not making up stuff to make yourself feel better. This is, again, alternate realities. So one reality might be that, yeah, you don't have the resources to do whatever it is you say or think you want to do or need to do. Okay. Well, that's one reality. Okay. Another reality is you don't have the resources or the things that you feel like you need to do yet. Yet. One, I just don't have it. Just, okay. The other one is that I don't have it yet. And that yet word is the qualifier. I don't have it yet. Okay. So when we're talking about taking the desperation off of a situation, is you might want to add that word to every conversation. Okay. I don't know what to do yet. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen yet. Okay. I don't know when this is gonna occur. Yet. Okay. So this yet, what I'm hearing is the yet universe. The yet universe. Sounds cool, huh? Sounds space agey. Like this is the realm we gotta live in, the yet universe. I love this. Real talk. This is the realm we gotta start living in, the yet universe. To where yet always keeps the potential, the possibility, it keeps the possibility there. Okay? It keeps hope alive. Keeps hope alive. What's up, Diego? Okay. In this yet universe, all things are possible. It just hasn't happened yet. Okay. Let me insert a little bit more sidebar transparency. Is I'm built for this kind of pressure, fortunately and unfortunately. Um, I'm built for pressure. I'm built for there to be moments in life where I'm not sure what's going to happen. And I have naturally in me, it's literally in my human design, I have the channel 2551, if you know channels. That is like the channel of spirit. It's like that channel that says that no matter what happens, I'm going to be in a positive mindset and an optimistic attitude that everything is going to work out. It's literally hardwired in me. It's literally hardwired in me. So while I may talk about things that sound challenging and things that sound difficult, I already know it's going to work out. For me, it's the irritation of what's going to happen in the middle. It's like, when I say the irritation, it's like, here we go again. I know it's going to work out, but God, why do I have to keep doing this? Why do I have to keep going through this? Why do I have to keep experiencing life in this kind of contrast? I know it's going to work out. I have no doubt in my mind. Everything always works out, but why do I have to go through the strain and the stress in the middle part of it? And that's, to me, that's how my stress shows up. It shows up more as like irritation. It doesn't so much show up as anxiety. It shows up as frustration and irritation. Okay. And so, again, this mindset of desperate times and desperate measures, we don't have desperate times. There's never a desperate time in the yet universe. There's just never a desperate time in the yet universe. You just have to wait over there. In the yet universe, you got to do a lot of waiting. Okay. Yeah. It's not desperate. No one has got to spring into action in a misaligned way. You just got to wait. And that's the hardest thing in the yet universe, is to wait. That is one of the hardest things on the planet in terms of frequencies, is to wait. When you have momentum that wants to go forward and you've got to literally pull that momentum back, you know, whether it's you want to go after a dream or try to make something happen to follow your plan, or, you know, you got something to say that you want to be heard. It's like pulling those things, pulling energy back is not something that we all typically know how to do well or even want to do. Okay. You ever had something to say and you got to hold your tongue or bite your lip and not quite say it? You know, it's like that's hard to do. You want to say something, but you got to pull it back. You're ready to go, but you got to stay. You got to wait. You're trying to make things happen in a certain way, and there keeps being an obstacle or something that delays you. It's like, man, nobody likes to fucking wait. Nobody, no, none of us. And then there's times in life where we know we have to wait, and we can do that pretty well if you've ever driven a car. You know, when you drive a car, you gotta wait. You expect to wait when you drive a car. You know, when you're gonna get on an elevator, you're gonna have to wait. You expect to have to wait for an elevator. Okay. You know, if you're on the phone with someone and they say just a minute, you're gonna have to wait. And you expect to have to wait while they go and do whatever they gotta do. So it's not that we can't wait, we just don't like to wait. And there's certain contexts in life, such as our future. We don't want to wait to find out what's going to happen next. We want to know right now what I can expect later. Okay. But in the yet universe, mastery of our patience is king. Like, if this was a game, how do I conquer life in the yet universe? You ever play like a staring contest or like a how to sit still contest when you were a kid? Where you got to practice mastery and self-control over your behaviors, like you kind of not blink, or you got to freeze tag, got to not move. Again, we expect to wait. So it's not that we can't do it, it's that we don't like to do it, we don't want to do it, and we got to make sure we understand the context that merits it. Like, why do I have to do it? Freeze tag? Okay. You see that mindset shift? It's like you got the right container of understanding, you're going to be able to do it. Wait. So we know life is not one big series of freeze tag games. However, the mindset shifting and the mentality is. So just in an instant, when you start recognizing that this might be a moment of delay, it's like, oh, I'm gonna wait. And I'm not gonna wait upset. I'm gonna wait patiently. I'm gonna wait stillly. I'm gonna wait until I get the cue to then go or seize the moment or take action or whatever the thing is. Okay. So I love this. We're in the yet universe, Vic.
Yet universe.
We're in the yet universe.
Not happening yet.
Hasn't happened yet.
But it's done.
It's coming soon. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty succinct message. I got 3 decks in front of me. I'm going to pull some cards. Yeah. In the yet universe, where all things are possible. I feel like I need to create a superhero that lives in the yet universe. Yeah. Anyways, let me shuffle these cards and remind you all that we are hosting. To all of those ends. Okay. My job in this life is not to worry about money. My job is to serve the people. So in my doing of my job, I'd be remiss if I did not remind you all that we are hosting Human Design in a Nutshell, which is a crash course in human design. Those of you who are not familiar with human design, it's a self-discovery tool to help you better understand yourself. All it requires is your birth date, time, and location in order to provide your body graph. And that body graph is what we use to better understand how you best function in the world. Literally. How you best move, thrive, make decisions, grow, and progress in the world. All of those keys lie in understanding and decoding your human design. If you're someone who's always burnt out, always feeling overwhelmed by life or the people in it, okay. If you are someone who struggles to truly try to find a life that feels fluid, that feels authentic, that feels easy and in flow, that feels purposed, okay, you probably want to better understand your human design. And so we're offering a Human Design in a Nutshell workshop series. It's a 4-part workshop series. You can take one or all 4 of the workshops. We got 1 card there. You could take 1 workshop, which is the body graph, understanding your unique body graph, if you can only do 1. But if you can take all 4, you can get a very solid foundation of your human design and human design in general so that you can better understand what this is and how can I actually make sense of this and use it in my life in a way that matters. I can only tell you my clients will swear by the knowledge that they've gained through human design. Every day that we do a reading, we transform somebody's perspective of themselves just by helping them understand how they are made by design. It's just a whole vibe, literally. So Human Design in a Nutshell, 4-part workshop series starts February 28th. That's a Friday evening. And it's 90 minutes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday. So it's 4 days, okay? 90 minutes each day, so not a lot of time at all. Just enough time to introduce you to different components, let you digest it overnight, and then make another deposit of knowledge and wisdom the next day. It's such a robust, it's a vast tool. It can help you understand so many things about yourself with tremendous clarity. There's no way we're going to be able to conquer it all in this workshop series, but it absolutely will give you a foundation to get you started. And then if you're interested to keep going, maybe you'll book a one-on-one reading or just continue your self-study on your own. Either way, it's bound to change your life. So it's begreateveryday.com for those of you who are interested to sign up to learn more. Begreateveryday.com. Okay. I need my charger. Hold, please. Alami, why aren't you freaking ready every goddamn day you do this? Because I don't want to. That's why. Because I don't want to. That's why. All right. Let's plug that up so we don't lose power. So we've got 4 cards to play out this message some more around the yet universe. Okay. I'm doing this programming that says desperate times call for desperate measures. That's not true at all. Okay. It's not true at all. Desperate times call for patience. Desperate times call for clarity and connection. Okay. Desperate times call for intuition and knowing. Okay. Nowhere in that equation does it call for survival mode. Okay. But here is why some of you get into hard times and forget about other potential outcomes or possibilities. So I feel like these cards are speaking to why your default is desperate, okay? Why your default is desperate. And so I want to qualify this a little bit more because I'm picking this up on a couple different levels. So it's like desperation is not just, we're not just talking about money, okay? We're talking about like partnership, opportunity, relationship. We're talking about, this feeling of, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm going to settle for this. Okay. This is a mindset. This is not unique to any one aspect of our reality. This is a mindset. Let me settle for this because I don't know if I'll be able to get that. Okay. So this kind of like this desperation by default. Desperation by default is what we're talking. Why some of you have this desperation by default. Okay. So the card says beginnings. Okay, beginnings. So I said this earlier in a different way. I said my human design, I'm hardwired to have faith. I'm hardwired to have faith. Channel 2551, it hardwires me to have faith in what I can't see. It hardwired me to be able to take any situation and find a positive nugget in it. It literally hardwires me to have a growth-oriented mindset. Okay, like I never fail, I never fumble, I always learn, I always elevate. Okay, that's hardwired in me. And for some of you, you have some other things that are hardwired in you, like fear. Okay. You have some fears that are hardwired in you, that if you don't catch yourself, that the very things that allow you to be, if you used it properly, the very gifts that would really actually allow you to be so intuitive and so connected and so wrapped up in your intuitive knowing, that same energy can activate a whole lot of fear. It's like if you know your human design, if you got a lot of energy around your spleen, if you got a lot of energy or no energy around your spleen, you probably have a hard time finding that balance between faith and fear. Okay. And it's hardwired from the beginning. It doesn't matter who you were around and if you had a worrying grandmother or not, even if you did not have a worrying grandmother, you probably will have a propensity to worry because you're hardwired from the beginning. Okay. Hardwired from the beginning. And so the other part of this message is feels like not just a natural disposition toward fear or doubt or worry some of us have, that default us to this desperate energy to react instead of respond. Okay. This card of beginnings is also giving me this energy of sometimes, very few times, very little, they're qualifying it, very little, okay, very few times do we move forward towards something without knowing where it's going or how it's going to end. Okay. Particularly more mature adults, maybe in our younger years and maybe in an impulsive moment, we're just going to do a thing without really thinking it through or knowing where it's going to go. But generally speaking, as adults, we are not going to just kind of cavalierly just jump into something. Okay, the average adult, right? We're going to want to see where this is going from the start, right? We want to see the A to Z from the start to then decide, do we engage, how we navigate a thing. Okay. So for some of you, this desperation by default. Okay, and when I say desperation by default, for those of you just popping in, we're talking about those of you who may find yourself in a hardship or a difficult moment or a hard time, and instead of waiting out to see what God is going to do or how the higher vibrational experience is going to unfold, you jump into fix it mode to try to take care of it. And so that fix it mode is a desperate energy to try to create outcomes, okay? Because we forget about possibility. We forget that regardless of what we see, that other possibilities that go beyond our visual eye are still within reach, okay? And that's what I'm calling the yet universe. I don't know how this is going to happen yet. I don't know where this resource that I need is going to come from yet. I don't know what I'm here to do and how it's going to play out yet. The yet universe keeps us connected to these unknown possibilities that when we get stuck in reality, quote unquote, and not sure how to proceed or what to do or how it's going to play out, that yet universe, if we can remember to dwell there, that is going to remind us that if we don't know the answer or how something's going to play out, it doesn't mean we won't know ever. It just means we don't know yet. Okay. Crystal's asking, what channels did you say again? I was speaking specifically to the center of the splenic center, the spleen. If you're looking at your body graph straight on, it's going to be the triangle in the bottom left, toward the bottom left. That bottom left hip area. Okay. The spleen speaks to our instincts, our instinctive fears. So it's really fictional fears. They're not actual, they're perceived fears, not actual fears. Okay. Some of us are hardwired to have perceived fears. Okay. So, yeah, if you want to learn more about your fears and kind of generally where some of your apprehensions in life might be coming from, you want to study your splenic center. Okay. So that card was beginnings. The next card, again, we're talking about this desperation by default. Why we go into survival mode. Okay. Why do we go into desperation mode? It's because we be thinking that, just because we don't know an answer, we don't know what's going to happen, we don't know what's going to fill in the void. We think it's not, it doesn't exist, but we have to remember we just don't know yet. Okay. And so therefore it's a mystery. Okay. And the reason why some of us jump into desperation mode is because we do not embrace this mystery. Okay. Some of you like mystery books. You like fictional books and you like the ones. Oh, there is a very nice spider right here. Hold on. And I had to kill it with my cards. Sorry. Sorry. All right. I gotta get him off my card. All right, there he goes. We're good. Mystery. What a mystery. Please like the video. I know it's a lot of shenanigans, but we're gonna move on. The card says mystery. Yeah. Y'all struggle to go into this yet universe of unknown possibility, unmet potential. Potential, okay? Yet universe is full of potential. All things are possible here in the yet universe, but yet y'all don't dwell there, okay? You like to stay on Earth because this mystery of what goes beyond, and look at the picture, okay? It's like you like to stay down here, and then like in the universe are all kind of possibilities, okay? All kinds of possibilities. And so we really struggle with not being able to see the A to Z. We struggle with, if I can only see the beginning and not the end, then I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm going to jump into struggle mode. I'm going to go into, desperation mode, hustle mode. All of these are synonymous. Desperation mode, hustle mode, struggle mode. They're all synonymous, okay? So learning to embrace life as a mystery. It's like, when you're watching a thriller, a movie that's a thriller, you're not, oh shit, I'm never going to know what's going to happen. You're like, I just haven't found out yet. When you're reading a book, there's a conclusion there. There's an answer there. There's resolve. The story's going to end well. You just don't know yet. Okay. So again, we know how to live in the yet universe in certain aspects, but not in all of the ones that matter most, which is in the possibilities within our own life, not fictional stories or movies or television shit. It's like your own life still has that same, the story ends well, and you just haven't found out how it ends yet or what happens next yet. So really coming to learn to embrace life as a mystery. And instead of becoming fearful of the unknown, get curious about it. It's like, I wonder what's going to happen next. Okay. It's like, I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see how this need gets met or how this relationship comes in. It's like this yet universe is just all the positive possibilities of what can happen. Okay. And if we move too far away from the yet universe, then we find ourselves still real anchored in 3D reality that says we don't know, we don't have it, we can't do it. And all of these blocks and barriers is immediately boom, 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 stacked right up in front of us in this 3D world. But damn it, in the yet universe, all things are possible. Oh man, interesting. There's two cards that say the same thing, and I've never noticed that. Okay, we're gonna have to really break that down. Okay, I can't help but pull this one next. When I shuffled, 5 cards jumped out, and I naturally jumped to this one because it looks very similar to this mystery card. But the next card says self-regulation. Okay. I mean, can we make this shit up any closer than the narrative that is playing out right before us? As I just tell you, the reason why people, have a hard time staying true to the course, having faith, staying confident in everything always working out. The reason why people struggle to stay there is because they don't know how to self-regulate. Okay. I want to see the end from the beginning. Okay. I don't want to wait to find out how it happens. And because I don't want to wait, I'm going to spring into action to try to make something happen. And so then that springing into action immediately misaligns our energy and puts us out of alignment. That's always the irony, is we think that when we take control of a situation that we are actually putting it in alignment, but we are actually putting it out of alignment by nature. Okay, literally. When it's like we force divine timing, we are knocking ourselves out of alignment, literally. So, this need to learn how to self regulate. When I say embrace the mystery of life, that sounds cute and all, but really what that means is you got to learn how to self regulate. That when you get anxious and afraid and doubtful and insecure and worried about every goddamn thing, that you learn how to actually tame and temper those thoughts and emotions. Like that is literally what self-mastery is your ability to tame rampant thoughts and emotions that aren't in alignment with who you say you want to be. You are learning to master that part of yourself or regulate it, okay? So if you want to learn how to become more patient and more calm and more grounded in your knowing in the face of challenge, you've got to learn how to self regulate. You've got to learn how to redirect your thoughts away from fear based thinking. You've got to learn how to calm your body and your nervous system once you get activated. You've got to learn how to maintain your spirit faith and your trust and your knowing in a higher power authority. Like these are skills that you have to build. It's not just things you say or things you have to think. These are skills, these are habits, these are practices you have to develop, okay? And it all falls under the guise of self-regulation, okay? And you see there's a bull on the card, okay? So this is like standing, I'm like, I want to call it like standing on business, okay? It's like we know bulls to be very stubborn. It's like be very stubborn with your self-regulation. Be very intentional. Be very committed to it, okay? It's like they're showing me the bull charging. It's like anytime he sees red, he charges. So it's like anytime you start feeling out of balance, you immediately attack it with your own self-care, your own so your own self-help, self-care, self-soothing strategies, okay? Self-regulation strategies, okay? But it's like it's an energy of springing into action. It's like when you start feeling yourself activated by some kind of negative emotion, like doubt and imposter syndrome, fear of success. When you find yourself getting activated by these things, it's like seeing red. Red means go. I mean, go. Stop. Red means stop. But in red means go also. They have me say red means go. They want me to say red means go. It's like when you feel those, like those are the red flags, which now mean you got to spring into action quickly, okay? Like to not be reactive means that you are being responsive. To be responsive means that you are paying attention to what you need in the moment and responding with urgency, okay? So it's self-regulation is like king. Like anytime you get they're saying a red flag. Anytime you get a red flag or a red alert signal inside yourself that you feel anxious or activated or in some kind of fear-based emotion, you immediately spring into action with self-regulation strategies. Mindfulness, breath work, walking, self-talk, journaling. It's like you immediately have to spring into action, okay? This is how you offset this desperate energy. Is you are not desperate when you learn how to self-regulate, because what happens, desperation is fueled by overreaction. Okay? Write that down. Desperation is fueled by overreaction. Okay? It's not fueled by responsiveness, it's fueled by overreaction, meaning that your emotions are impulsively responding to something without taking into account what you consciously think, feel, and know and need. It's like you just responding, it's like a reflex, okay? But when you slow yourself down to be able to watch yourself reflexing, like, and to watch yourself, but your body and the nerves that show up in your belly or the tension that builds in your neck or the headache that you start to get from stressing. It's like when your body starts showing you signs and symbols of misalignment, that's when you spring into action with self-regulation. Okay. So that you then don't respond with desperation. Okay. All right. All right. I like that we've got likes on the video. If you didn't get a chance, do that now. Do that now. Self-regulation is like big on standing on business, okay? It's big on standing on business. It's big on mastery. You don't have to default to desperation when you know how to master yourself. Okay? When you know how to tap in and assess how you're feeling before you proceed to make a decision, you can make a decision from a high value and high vibrational place. Okay? But when you're stuck in fear or like loneliness or doubt, worry, it's hard to make a high vibrational decision from that place. Okay. So let us keep going. I'm excited to get into these last two cards because not this one. Well, this we'll cover this one too, but these other two. So the next card says meant to be. Okay, and we're talking about why some of you default to desperate times, even though they're undesperate. I mean, to desperate measures, even though they're undesperate times. It's because of this notion of something being meant to be. Okay. So how often has something happened? You know, maybe you were planning a party, okay, for whatever occasion. You're planning a party. And you've planned all the fine details of this party and, you know, come down to the party date. Now the caterer falls through. Okay, the fucking caterer falls through. Day of the party. And the caterer falls through, you get the call, and of course now you're kind of freaking out because you've got 200 people coming over and there is no food in sight to be served. Okay. And now, because of this big void in the equation, you've got to kick it into gear to a plan B. And now plan B is somebody else that wasn't predicted to have to prepare the food is now preparing the food. And now you're unsure and feeling insecure about whether or not this is going to work out because this is all late game. You don't even know this person's food that well. And then, of course, it works out. The food is great. The person wasn't who you thought would be coming in, but they came in the clutch and it worked out great. And now you want to continue working with this person because they're like the nicest thing and they have the best food. So it's like, we do not be thinking about shit working out when life throws us a curveball. Our first initial reaction for the most common person is the caterer fell through. Oh shit, I might need to even cancel the party. We're not thinking about how things can still work out with a backup person who I don't know and haven't tested or haven't vetted, and I don't know if they're skilled or if they're able and if it's going to work out. We might not even take that risk. We might just cancel the whole fucking party because we don't have food for 200 people. And if we didn't cancel the party, if we still went forward with it and hired another caterer and we didn't know them, we're stressing the whole fucking time. And because we're stressing the whole fucking time, we might have even called 2 or 3 backup caterers because in case this one sucks, we might need to have somebody else come in to supplement or back it up even further. It's like we would go into survival mode. Okay. We wouldn't default to, oh, it's going to work out. I don't know who's going to fill the void. It's only, 4 or 5 hours till the party, but, it's going to work out. We're not defaulting to that shit. We're defaulting to dismay and destruction and chaos and confusion and all of the worst case scenarios possible are definitely going to happen today. That's where we go to. We don't go to, oh, this pivot must be meant to be. We don't go to this. We go to, oh my God. We go to, this is going to fail. We go to, I'm going to be embarrassed and I'm going to have to hear about this for a lifetime. And so is going to supposed to come. And we go through all of the other shit. We do not go to, this is meant to be. And this is going to work out. And so if we can, at least start to hold space, even if you can't switch that gear, start to hold space sooner for the possibility that outside of the outcome that you were intending, that maybe there's a different way to still get done what you hope to do. Okay. Maybe this curveball or this unexpected occurrence or this unpredicted situation is meant to be. If we can embrace all of our adversities as something that is purposed, our decisions will change immediately. We won't default to survival mode and hustle mode and struggle mode, trying to make shit happen. We're going to start trusting the process of things. We're going to start trusting the unfolding of things, even when we may be unclear, uncertain, or afraid. Okay. When we start acknowledging everything that happens to us as being purposed and meant to be, your decision making will align around that. Meaning that you will always grow and learn from every hardship. You will always embrace with even new possibility every blessing, because it's like everything is happening for your greater good. That's a whole mindset shift for some of you. Some of you really feel like life has been out to get you because from day one, it's been some bullshit happening in your life. And I'm sorry that that's been your reality. But I'm also not sorry that I get the honor of telling you that all of those difficult things that you've been through is just the recipe you need to be your best self. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Because it's all meant to be. Everything that you've gone through, everything that you're experiencing now, every test, trial, obstacle, challenge, trigger, trauma, all of it is for you. Okay? It's all for you to become better. It's all here to grow you, to help you expand beyond who you think you are, beyond who you think you are, and into who you're meant to be. So, man, such a powerful message this morning. This pivot must be meant to be. Woo, yep, nope, but you can say snap. I'm glad you stay around for that, girl. So I told y'all I was kind of excited to read these cards, and I'm really curious to see what messages come forth, because these cards are coming from the same deck. It's the Moonology deck. And the Moonology deck this particular deck speaks to different facets of the moon, not different aspects, but different facets of the moon, like different contexts by which we talk about the moon. Excuse me. And so this one card, Moon Memories, says the past. Both of these cards say the past, but this one says Moon Memories. I don't know what that makes reference to, but we've got the past, and then we've got the dark moon, which is the past. So I'm going to read from the book because I want to know how they make the distinction in these messages. I'm also getting some other hints, but I want to read the book, the guidebook, to get the distinction in these two cards. Okay. So let's start with the dark moon. So I'll show you the card one more time. Dark moon. It says you're ready to leave something behind. Fear is stopping you from moving forward, but there is nothing to be scared of. Something in your past needs to be released. It could be a perceived failure, a relationship, a fear created by something that happened to you recently or a long time ago. It's holding you back. An important distinction to make: the dark energies of the card are, quote, dark as per se the expression. It's darkest before dawn. It's so they're saying like the aspect of the dark aspect of the moon is saying it's darkest before dawn, not like something is dark energy, okay? It's darkest before dawn. That's the darkness we're talking about here. So when this card comes up, you're a precipice of some kind. You're at a precipice of some kind. So you're at the peak of something. You're on the edge of something happening. Either you fall back into the past or you decide to call your energies back into you so that you no longer have a part of your energetic body stuck in the past. The energy around you now holds the literal the energy around you now holds the literally awesome power of the dark goddess whom we were all taught to fear, but whom in truth help us to break with the past. Okay. I'll say that again because my reading is not fundamental. Let's go. Da, 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 da. The energy around you now holds the literally awesome power of the dark goddess whom we were taught to fear, who in truth helps us to break with the past. Clear out negativity now to make space for something new and better. That's the message of this card. Okay, clear out negativity now to make space for something new and better. Okay. Additional meanings for this card: your dreams about the past are a clue to your situation. You're about to turn the corner at last. It's darkest before dawn. There is nothing to fear, and embrace your power. Okay. So this is about leaving something behind in the past. Okay. There's no need to fear. Embrace your power. Okay. So let me, again, that's that card. Okay. Now, let me do the other one. So that was that. And now I want to read the past card that says it's about moon memories. I don't even know what they're making reference to. Moon memories. Okay. And then I'll share what I feel that they're saying. Okay. So again, this is the moon memories card. It says the past. All right. So the the book says, whatever you're going through now is being strongly influenced by past memories. Maybe it has to do with childhood programming. For example, if you were told you weren't good enough, you are. Or that there wasn't enough money to go around, there is. Such things from our past influence our present and therefore our future. Drawing this card suggests you need to be really honest about which situation from your past is negatively influencing your present, and then you need to clear it. Acknowledging that something challenging from your past is keeping you back from moving forward now is the first step. See the past for what it is, something that happened, that has shaped you, and that can and that can be a springboard from which you can move forward. Do some self-development to get the answers to your questions. What in your past is negatively impacting you now? Clear that and everything else will fall into place. When dark memories come, replace them with happier ones to shift your focus and raise your vibration/frequency very quickly. Additional meanings for this card: move through fear. Therapy could be useful now. Picture your happy place when stressed. Ditch negative beliefs about yourself, and you can't go back. Okay. So one is like about releasing memories of the past, and the other one is about what? Releasing fears in particular, right? Yeah. One is about releasing memories. The other one in specific is about releasing fear. Okay. Fear based on past experiences, fear based on unhealed experiences. and fear based on programming, just programming, social conditioning. Okay. So we're talking about desperate times and desperate measures and undesperate times, but desperate measures. So those of you who feel a need to get activated into survival mode or survival-based, fear-based thinking, just because you can't figure out how something is going to get resolved yet. Okay. So these energies of the past clearly are very present. Okay. It's a very prominent message, clearly. Okay. And that some of you are very much conditioned into survival mode because that's what you've been taught, is that you weren't really taught to be trusting of anything outside your own will and physical effort. You haven't been conditioned to rely on your intuitive knowing as a well of knowledge and wisdom that you can trust. Okay. It's like some deconditioning around the past needs to happen in order to liberate yourself to move freely now in the present. Okay. So if you don't want to default to desperation when you don't have clarity around how to move forward with something, it's like you got to unpack this some more in your journaling. Okay. It's unpacking, like when I find myself jumping into survival mode or desperation mode most often, it is when. Okay. It's for you to really examine and identify what are the conditions that trigger you most to deny your intuition and to deny your faith. What are the physical conditions that can trigger you real good to have you ignore another pathway to your success? Okay. What are the conditions that trigger you real good is what I'm hearing. That's the question for you to explore in your journaling. Okay. And the question has an answer that's rooted in your childhood and early adult experiences. Okay. It's like when you find yourself most active in your survival mode behaviors, it's because it's a trauma response to something you've experienced before. So whether it's feeling embarrassed because you didn't perform to someone's standards, so now you overfunction and try to make sure everything is right without trusting the process of a divine unfolding. It's like it comes from that. Some of you have rejection. Okay. Just flat out rejection, either mentally, not mentally, emotionally, no one wanted to hear or listen to you, or physically, they weren't attracted to you or didn't want to talk to you or date you. It's like these traumas, okay, have us triggered in such a way that we still default to these behaviors and these insecurities, even when they're not relevant to our real life in real time. These fears of rejection, these fears of lack of acceptance, these fears of embarrassment, these are fears that are triggered from early childhood, early adulthood experiences that are playing out right now in our behavior. So we don't want those things to happen. So we overfunction to make sure they don't happen, despite what our intuition is telling us. Okay. All right. I can't say that's not true. I know that's true for me. I definitely know that's true for me. Is that I hyper function in ways that I want things to be good. I want things to be okay because there are times when they weren't good and okay that I personally I hold myself responsible for. So I can absolutely make sense of how that dynamic is playing out for me. I encourage you to see how it's playing out for you through your journaling. Reposition and make adjustments, change your perception to your power. Ashe. So, yeah, rich messages as usual today. Like the video if you didn't get a chance already. Drop me some hearts if you're up in here. I feel lonely. I'm just running my mouth. So many messages to share. I appreciate y'all tuning in to listen. And my hope is that you're receiving messages that are resonating for you, and that you can use to make some small changes and tweaks in how you move today and every day. Okay. Okay, this box doesn't want to close. There we go. Okay, let's keep it going. I got a couple more cards and then we're gonna wind it down. I got a call, and that's the last two cards. Gonna have to run it back. Yes, girl, you sure will. I got my African Goddess Rising deck. I love that for us. It's always pure power coming through this deck, as well as the Voices of the Souls Oracle. Okay. Again, Human Design in a Nutshell, our 4-part workshop series that's brand new for beginners. I swear this card comes out every single time I pull this deck. It does not matter. Every single time this card is going to come out. Every single freaking time. Like I'm mad at it. I'm not mad at it. It's just every single time. Every single time. All right, we got one more. Okay, and I'm feeling one more. Okay. All right, I said just a few more cards, and I got 3 from that deck and one more deck to pull. Let me pull it. Human Design in a Nutshell 4-part series starts on February 28th. That's next week, Friday. It's 4 parts, takes you through the foundational components of human design so that you can better understand yourself and what is holding you back in life. What are the unconscious things that are holding you back in life? Whether they're thoughts, behaviors, attitudes, drives, all kind of stuff. Level up. Okay, perfect. So if you want to learn more about your human design, I highly recommend it. It's in a small group format, but it's okay. We've put a cap on the group, so it's not going to be too many people. It's definitely going to be a safe and workable space for you to be able to ask questions about your body graph and how to live by design. Again, that's Friday the 28th through Monday the 3rd. Each session, each day is just 90 minutes, so it's quick in and out. Small bite-sized pieces that are easily digestible for you to build your working knowledge of human design and understanding your body graph. So if you want to learn more, go to begreateveryday.com. Tell your mom and them, your cousin too. And if you want a discount code to be able to enroll, I highly recommend that you follow me on Instagram and send me a DM, okay? And let me know that you're interested to take the Human Design in a Nutshell workshop. This is clarifying a couple cards in my Moonology spread this morning, especially the answers you need are coming. You gave it, an abundance of gratitude to you. Ashe, I love that, Angel. I love that you're pulling cards on your own and working on your own intuition. I love that so much because that is the key. So, the card that I was ranting and raving about that always comes out is this card of reproach that comes routinely out of this Voices of the Soul Oracle, okay? The card says reproach. And this card is all about self-criticism, okay? I do feel drawn to read the deck description. I pull this card regularly. Between this card and the repression card, it loves to come out regularly. Okay. So again, the card is reproach. It came out yesterday, I think, or maybe the day before. Remember, the Voices of the Souls Oracle deck, the messages come in 3 different voices, okay? So it's like the voice of your personal soul. Then there's a message that comes from the voice of your spirit team or your spirit guides, your angels, ancestors. And then the 3rd voice is like from the actual, quote, entity. And so in this case, we're talking about desperation, okay? So I want to read the book, the perspectives, so that you have a better understanding of why this message is here today. Again, the card is reproach, and it says your soul. Sometimes you are so critical of yourself, so hard on yourself. Sometimes you say things that aren't right, and you think and feel them in your bones. You bring these things to life, believing they represent who you are and what you do. This is not so, and this is not right. These reproaches have no valid basis because you're an imperfect being and you do your best with what you have. You have often been powerless, but this has much to teach you. I'm sending you many signs to help you understand your inner wisdom. Even if in your outer life you feel stripped of everything, you have created great inner wealth. I can sense your inner wealth. It belongs to you and is present in each of your cells. Today, you need to be confident in this wealth, feeling it deep inside you. You just need to look in the mirror and see all the light that makes up your aura. Your self reproaches aren't valid, they are a reflection of your fears to teach you confidence in yourself. You are a unique and wonderful being. Every day, I send you signs to remind you of this. Okay, so that was the voice of your soul, that you're too critical on yourself. Now, from your spirit guides, this reproach energy. Again, a need to not be so self critical. So it says the next 3 weeks are important. There will be many synchronicities and the pace will be intense. We invite you to be daring and to have confidence in yourself. Because you will be invited to do many things, you won't be able to concentrate on some things as much as you would like. Don't blame yourself, indulge yourself. You won't botch these things. You'll have more time later on to finish everything you started. In the next 3 weeks, you will create new foundations and take an important turn. You have been waiting for this turn for a long time. You have all the strength you need inside you. You have been preparing for this transformation for a long time now and are ready. Connect to your inner strength and be compassionate. Just be yourself, confident and assured. You can do it. You can do anything. Okay. All right. So the last aspect of this reproach message, again, reproach meaning self-criticism, self-criticism, and I need to not be so self-critical. I can't even say it. Self-critical. I need to not be so self-critical. The last aspect of this message is coming from the entity, as they call it, the entity itself. And so in this case, we're talking about desperation. Okay. So it says, I feel your reproach and I understand it. I was also often in that energy. I often reproach others or myself for things. I found it difficult to question my actions and I asked a lot of others. I didn't always apply what I asked of others to myself. I realize this now. I realize that wasn't for others or myself. I have learned a lot from this inner and outer reproach. I understand its meaning and what I didn't accept in myself. What I thought was unacceptable was only my dark side. When I look at it now, I'm no longer afraid of it. I embrace, accept, and love it. Forgive me if this may have impacted you directly or indirectly. Forgive yourself too. You are perfect. So it's as if desperation were an entity, a body, a figure, and it were talking to you, that's what it would say. Forgive me if this may have impacted you directly or indirectly. Forgive yourself too. You are perfect. Okay. So, I mean, heavy energy, emphasis on letting yourself make it. Okay. So it's not about beating yourself up if you find yourself get activated and triggered into survival mode. It's not then start, here I go. I know I'm doing it, but I gotta do what I gotta do, and da da da. And I know it's not gonna lead me where I want to go. And da, 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 da. It's not about beating yourself up, judging yourself. It's not about criticizing yourself when you find yourself in these habits that are not aligned. It's about loving yourself through it. It's about being compassionate. It's about talking yourself back from the edge. It's through love that we transform ourselves, especially when we find ourselves being harmful. I was going to say harsh, but they're giving me the word harmful. When we find ourselves being harmful, and self-judgment, self-criticism is harmful. We think that we're using it as a litmus test to push ourselves toward greater degrees of excellence, but what it's quietly doing is tearing ourselves down and pulling ourselves back from becoming all of who we are. It's like the self-acceptance and self-love is the catapult, okay? Self-hatred, self-judgment is the anchor, okay? They're showing like an anchor, like it pulls us down, okay? So, reproach, take those messages how they resonate for you. But the card of reunion is here as well, and I want to speak to both of these. This energy of reproach and reunion, okay? Because when you stop criticizing yourself and you start aligning with self-love and self-compassion and self-empathy as ways to inspire yourself toward new action or to be patient, okay? It's like if you find yourself being scared, you're not going to start talking shit to yourself to think that you're going to, find a more peaceful place of calm. It's like you're going to be compassionate with yourself. You're going to be like, it's okay. You've got it. You're going to be encouraging with yourself, in fact. You're going to be like, I believe in you. You can do this. It's like you're going to go to that kind of high vibrational language if you're actually trying to self-soothe. So I feel like this card of reunion is not about reuniting with another person. It's really about reintegrating with yourself. Instead of being so harsh and critical, it's like that voice of self-love and compassion takes over to help you navigate life. So when you find yourself being triggered, when you find yourself getting scared or unsure or uncertain about what's coming next or how to navigate life, that you reconvene with yourself, not from a place of judgment and insult, but you reconvene with yourself from a place of self-love, of encouragement, of support. It's like showing up for yourself is what I feel like in this reunion, in this reproach. This is a need to show up for yourself. This is how you move away from desperate energy, is you've got to become your own inner caretaker, your own inner cheerleader, your own inner confidant. It's like you've got to learn to self-soothe, okay? It's a lot of energy around self-soothing and self-talk, okay? If you don't want to default to desperation when you get triggered or when you get afraid or uncertain, you've got to learn how to get to your self-talk and self-soothe, okay? And yeah, the card here says karmic message, and this karmic message is really like the first thing that comes to you when you think of karma, a karmic message. What's the first thing that comes to mind as we're talking about, moving away from this this desperation by default? Just because you get triggered or traumatized by something in a moment, and I say traumatized, and I'm not talking about, you've been overtly hurt by somebody or something. Traumas come in all kinds of variety. Not having a clear explanation of what your life is going or what you're going to do next can be a trauma for some people, if they especially had trauma in their early childhood where everything was always a question mark and they never had a lot of stability. Like, that is a reoccurring trauma. If now you're put in a situation where someone is like, let's go, and they're not telling you any of the details of where we're going or what's going to happen, like, I'm telling you, traumas come in all shapes and sizes, kids. It's not just the physical ones, okay? Those are the ones that we know are most recognizable, but we have all kind of emotional traumas from our childhood and early adulthood that play out in our life. So what is this karmic message card saying to you? What is it saying to you about your tendency to go into desperation mode by default? What do you stand to learn through this message this morning? What is it saying to you? Okay. And I'm not going to speak on this card too much because the card itself is like, what is it saying to you? What is the message coming to you as you listen through this channeled message around desperation and how we overreact and over-respond because we are not self-caring properly? What is the message that you need to get from that? Okay. And what a wonderful way to close this out, as the last card says level up. Okay. Is Queen Asantiwa? Queen Asantiwa, and the card says level up. This is from the African Goddess Rising deck, okay? And each character in this deck is an African archetype. It's African goddess archetype. This is Queen Asantiwa. Again, and the card says level up, okay? So I feel like this is like a hard nail in the coffin as we close out these messages today. And I think that's a call to action to level up. Defaulting to acting out of desperation, we can do that when we are unconsciously aware. Okay. When we are unconsciously aware of what we are doing, then we are unconscious. We're just doing things without recognizing what we're doing or what our drives and motivations are. But when we know that we are acting out of desperation, okay, when we recognize very clearly. We are not doing what's essential. We are acting out of desperation. We're acting out of fear. We're acting out of an inability to trust. We're acting out of an inability to self regulate. We're acting out of anxiety. We're acting out of worry. When we are moving from that place, we only have one place to go, which is up. Okay? Because these are low vibrational energies. These are low vibrational stances. Okay. A high vibrational stance looks more intuitive. It looks more trusting. It looks more like stepping into your knowing. A low vibrational experience is in doubt and worry and fear. Okay. So there's a need to level up. There's a need to level up. Okay. And that level up looks different. Level up doesn't necessarily mean stop doing all the things all of a sudden. Level up might mean that start leaning into the discomfort that you feel when you feel triggered or when you feel uncertain or when you feel challenged by something, to lean into it. Okay. It means maybe that instead of, uh, let's give an example that's more relative. Okay. It means maybe instead of when you have a challenge or a problem, maybe instead of immediately kicking into problem solving mode to try to find an answer to fix it and figure it out and be done with it, that you just let it marinate. Maybe you don't go immediately into problem solving mode. Maybe you just practice letting it marinate. And what does that look like? That means that you probably want to start practicing some mindfulness, some breath work, some meditation, something to start redirecting your attention away from the problem and away from seeking a solution to just letting it be in the universe without you tending to it. Okay. It doesn't mean you're going to make an intuitive decision about it. It doesn't mean that you won't eventually kick into gear to try to solve the problem. It just means that instead of jumping to it right away, you let it marinate. Let it exist in the world. Let your anxiety be a thing. Let yourself feel the discomfort of not knowing and just let it be without trying to fix it. Okay. This is how you can start to lean in. Okay. And there's so many different ways you can start to lean in. For some of you, it's like in your dating life and your romantic experiences. This level up might look like, instead of accepting, the behavior of the partner as face value, that maybe that level up starts to look like you actually let me say this differently so that's not confusing. For those of you who are in romantic partnerships, okay, there is a need to level up, okay? Because I feel a lot of, I don't know how that analogy goes right now, but it's like, it's trying to struggle, it's like struggle swimming to stay above water, okay? It feels like, over functioning, working real hard to stay above water in relationships, okay? And so whether that's, working hard to stay in a relationship because you don't know if you're going to be able to attract another one, or just working hard in a relationship because you're afraid of losing the one that you have. It's like a lot of over functioning energy. So like leaning in is like trusting the process. It's like trusting that whatever feels resonant is right, and that you don't have to fight for survival in conditions that don't feel worthy of you, is what I'm hearing. Worthy of you. Okay. Man, this is a lot. So when I'm talking about leveling up in this context and not defaulting to desperation, it's not defaulting to people pleasing, really. Okay. It's not defaulting to people pleasing. If someone has a problem, you have the answer. It's not jumping in to solve the problem for them. It's letting it just marinate. Just let it just be for a second. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways in which this energy is playing out for each of us. Okay. I'm going to continue to remind people that if ever you want to dive deeper into any of these messages for yourself, to book an intuitive reading, a one-on-one intuitive reading is always going to be a good idea. I'm going to tell you, I'm starting to limit my books on how many of these readings I allow. Just because I'm finding that certain energies, certain readings, I don't find enough joy in them to keep doing them, and the money is not enough reason for me to do them. So when I do a live reading with somebody, whether it's a collective reading or a personal reading, I really am doing this reading not for entertainment value, although I have to say that because that protects me. I'm doing it for entertainment value, in that I know people are always engaged and intrigued by the readings. But I do these readings on purpose so that people can actually get clarity and actually make changes in their lives and actually know how to do that. And so if you find yourself in a place and stage in your life where you're like coming up against some challenges and in starting to recognize that you have habits and patterns that are not easily disrupted by your own free will, it might be time to start working with a coach. So when I do these intuitive readings now, they actually, I find, are more valuable when I'm working in a coaching context with a client as opposed to just doing a one off reading. Because you get a reading, you run off, you don't really know how to apply the new wisdom, you don't really have the accountability to make change. So I feel like I just end up kind of wasting my time. I make a profit off of it, that's nice. But I also feel like I've just kind of wasted my time giving valuable information to someone who's really not serious about doing something with it. So I'm happy to hear other opinions, but I've been doing this quite a long time, and I'm seeing the difference. I know that one reading can make a difference in someone in terms of giving them inspiration, but I know that a coaching session or a coaching relationship that creates long-standing transformation, not just a feel-good moment. And so that's what I'm here to do. You know, there's plenty of readers that will give you a one-off, and I'm sure they will, by and large, do a good job. I know the readings that I offer people are tremendously insightful and life-changing, and I respect them as such. And so, if you would like to work with me in a coaching capacity, um, let's talk. Let's talk is what I'll say. Of course, you can visit begreateveryday.com to learn how to book a coaching consultation. Go to the programs link and it'll show you there. Okay. I think I feel complete. I think we did it. I think we're done, and I think we're going. So I want to thank everybody for joining. Of course, as per usual, Angel, Crystal, and all the rest of my love bugs who are up in here. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay. Stay tuned. Stay connected. There's so many amazing things happening right now. And I'm so happy to be a part of it all. Aside from human design in a nutshell, our first signature series introducing human design to in a practical way to the average person. Um, I would love for you all to join us in that. Again, February 28th, that's next week, Friday through Monday, March 3rd. It's 4 days straight, only 90 minutes each day. You can sign up for one workshop or take all four, quite honestly. You can sign up for one workshop for $99 or take all four for $197. I mean, you can't get this anywhere else, where you get 6 hours of human design content personally, not pre-recorded. It's live and in real time with a certified human design specialist, as well as myself, an intuitive self-mastery coach. And between the two of us, we're going to get you together. Okay? I say this is not a workshop, this is an experience. I welcome you to join us. Again, go to begreateveryday.com. And if you think you might want to come, if you follow me on Instagram and send me a DM, I'll get your message and I'll give you a promo code. Must be following me. Make sure that you follow me so that I'll get your message, okay? And I'll send you a promo code to save a little bit off. And yeah, I hope to see you there. So if you don't follow me on IG already, it's at Alami Bashir. There's no spaces, no hyphens, at Alami Bashir. Of course, you can go to the channel description if you want to see it in plain spelling right there so that you don't make a mistake, okay? But in the meantime, today is Friday. So that concludes our morning messages for this week. But hey, there's always next week. So catch me next week, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, for the morning messages, live intuitive messages with myself, Alami Bashir. Love y'all so much. Wish y'all so much joy and peace and rest and well-being this weekend and beyond. Tune in, tap in, stay turned on to Figure It Every Day, the YouTube channel. I cannot wait to expand this channel so much more. There's so much more coming. Y'all stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Love y'all so much. Have a great day. No matter what. Peace.